Restored 1972 short wheelbase C10, 454, automatic, vintage AC. Let's take it for a test drive. When it comes to a C10, this truck checks all the boxes. It fits into the prime category of what I like to buy, sell, and trade here at the dealership when it comes to a C10. This is a 1972 Chevrolet C10 with the Cheyenne package. What's special about this truck is it is a factory red and white truck like you see it, and it is a factory big block truck. The motor that's in it is a replacement big block. It would have originally came with a 400, now has a very strong running 454. Motor has great power, does everything you'd want it to do going down the open road. It is backed by the Turbo 400 3-speed automatic transmission. At some point, if someone wanted to do an overdrive, you could, but it doesn't really need it because the truck drives so nice. You have your factory rear end. This one is upgraded with vintage AC. I got it on right now. It is comfortable in here, nice and cold. It has a great volume of air coming out of the left and the right vent, and then as well as that middle vent. Blows again really cold. It is R134, obviously being the vintage AC setup. Power steering, power four-wheel disc brakes, so it does have disc brake conversion done on the rear. You do have a full aftermarket suspension setup on this one. It is a CPP tubular upper and lower control arms in the front. You do have drop spindles. You got a lowering spring in the rear. The ride quality is spot on. We'll talk about the suspension a little bit more further in the video. On the interior, it is a factory coated black interior. This truck was done, I believe it was via the receipts and everything that we have. I think it was painted in 2013, and a lot of the mechanical work done was done probably around the same time frame. So 10, 12 years old on the restoration work for the truck. I'll have to go back and look at the receipts for the mechanical work, but I do believe the paint work was 2013. All kinds of receipts. The SPID decal, pop the glove box open here. You got the SPID decal, shows that it is a true 115 wheelbase truck, so it is a real short bed. It is a factory Cheyenne truck. It is a factory red and white with a big block, so all the cool options. Back on the interior though, it's a stock interior. I will say right underneath your ass, right on two of the seams, the seam is starting to come loose just a little bit. You'll see a photo of that in the additional informations tab on the website, pcclassiccars.com. Other than that, the interior is excellent. You do have tilt, and this is a big old steering wheel, so having tilt's nice to be able to get in and out. You do have your factory tack and gauges. The speedometer reads, I know in my write-up it says 1 mile. It's got 10 miles on it now. We did just replace the speedometer. The speedo head that we had when the truck came in, it was reading like 20,000 and some change miles. I don't know what the true miles are on the truck because it was redone, but we just replaced the speedo head, so it's got a brand new speedometer in it. Gauges are working outside of the voltage gauge, is not doing anything, but you have your factory temperature gauge, which is working, oil pressure gauge. I am going to put, and you won't see it in the video, but I am going to put a 2-gauge pod up underneath the dash for temperature and oil pressure, just because I like to read accurate numbers. So you, again, won't see it in the video, but up under the dash we will put a 2-gauge pod so we can have accurate temperature and temperature and oil pressure. I just like to read those in all of mine. I just didn't have 2 of them here, and I didn't want to hold up on putting the truck up, but I will put those 2 gauges up under the dash. You do have a retro style radio as well. Headliner nice, visor's nice. Really, other than the little seam split starting on the seat bottom right underneath your ass, it's very nice in here. Door panels, carpets, mats, all that looks good. Test out that big block. Again, it's got good power for what it is. Not a 500 horse motor or anything like that, but as you can see, really good power. Yeah, there you go. Smooth, easy shifts from the transmission. Underneath is great. Had a little bit of work done on the inner rockers and the floor braces, but when they restored the truck, they did a really good professional job. It's very nice. Underneath, I don't see any rust issues. Again, this is a true 115 wheelbase short bed truck, so the frame has not been cut on. It is a true short bed pickup. On the exterior, inside the bed is very nice. You do have a like a drop-in bed mat underneath the bed mat. It does have like a bed liner material And it is black underneath the bed mat. The inside of the wheel wells are very clean. On the exterior, it is a coated red and white two-tone Cheyenne truck. So you got the full side trim, emblems, all that stuff looks good. Really the only wear items are a couple small little flaws in the paint. And then on the very back portion of the side trim, where it meets the end piece, they always kind of pop out just a little bit. You'll see a photo of that in the additional informations tab. The front grille's got a few little imperfections in it, minor stuff. You do have the aftermarket aluminum 17-inch rally wheels, good tires all the way around, no rubbing issues. I can't say enough about how well this truck drives. Pulls well, no shakes. Paint quality again is very nice. The paint is nice and deep. It's straight down the sides. The doors open and close well. No bubbles, no bad body work. The touch-ups are really minuscule. You'll see photos of those again in the additional informations tab on the website, pcclassiccars.com. With that CPP tubular suspension, the ride quality is excellent for a lower truck. Does not beat you to death. It is super tight out on the open road. The steering takes you where you want it to go. It's very responsive. Four-wheel disc brakes stop you great. Downshifts like it should. The exhaust has a good note to it, not terribly loud. You hear a little bit of motor, you hear some exhaust, so it's got a good combination of both. No real drone on the inside of the cab. The wind noise is to a minimum. Normally you get a lot of bad vent window noise. This one doesn't have that. The windows are manual, obviously. They roll up and down like they should. All of your glass is in great condition. Windshield's really easy to see out of. No major issues. Side windows are obviously crank windows, roll up and down like they should. Back glass looks good as well. It's hard to go wrong with a big block, automatic, vintage AC, tubular suspension, really nice short bed C10. This is one of my favorite ones of these that I've had recently. I've sold a bunch of these trucks over the years. This is just a really quality one, front to back, inside and out. When you pop the hood, the engine bay is very detailed, shows great, nothing is out of place. All of the fluids from the radiator, the motor, transmission, rear end, brakes, all the fluids check out good. Charging system is doing its job. Rehashing some of the little disclaimers. Again, the voltage gauge is not doing anything. The washer fluid sprayers aren't spraying any fluid, and I believe that was the disclaimer list for things not working. I will reiterate, you do not see it in this video, but I am going to put a 2-gauge pod underneath the dash for accurate temperature gauge and an accurate oil pressure gauge. The factory ones are working. I just like to have accuracy of that stuff, so we'll make sure that we put those up underneath the dash. They'll look really good. You have the little seam split starting on the seat bottom. You could go back with the factory seat cover if you want. You could have an interior shop redo the stitching on the two little seam splits, or do nothing if you don't care. I always like a houndstooth, black and white houndstooth. That's always a nice upgrade. Maybe do an overdrive transmission. None of this stuff is needed, but just nice additions. One thing I would do though is I would relocate the fuel tank to an in-frame fuel tank in the back underneath the bed. It gets it out of the cab here. That's really one thing that I like to do on these that hasn't been done, but you don't have to do it. Just kind of a nitpicky little minuscule upgrade if someone wants to. All right, so we'll roll into it here again, do a little heavier acceleration. Just an absolute kick-ass C10. As always, I'm Michael. This is a restored 1972 Chevrolet C10 short wheelbase pickup, factory big block, now has a 454 in it, automatic transmission, vintage AC, tubular suspension, just super nice front to back. As always, we appreciate y'all stopping in to watch another one of our test drive videos. Check out the additional informations tab on the website, pcclassiccars.com, and we'll catch you guys on the next video. Thanks again for watching.